Okay, so good day everyone. So, I don't know if mapapanood nyo 'to ng umaga or gabi, so kayo na bahala. So, our topic for this day is all about the PICAR or Philippine Civil Aviation Regulations. So, like I said nga nung nakaraan, yung PICAR ay hango sa ICAO annexes natin. So, kung mapapansin nyo, like I said nga, yung kailangan nating aralin sa PICAR is the parts. So, here we have 1 to 11 parts, and also we have this part 13, and also we have this part 18 natin. So makikita nyo, we have different titles. We have part 1, general policies, part 2, personal licensing, part 3, approved training organization, and so on. And itong part 4 na to is hindi ko i-discuss in this video. So ang gagawin natin is we will have our quiz next week. So before we will have our quiz, I will first discuss this part 4 kasi mahirap siya kapag in video or online or asynchronous natin siya aralin. So ituturo ko siya face to face. So I will allot a time para ma-discuss yun sa inyo para hindi naman unfair sa section nyo kasi yung ibang section face to face ko siya ituturo. So ituturo ko muna siya, then I will give enough time para makapag-aral pa kayo sa quiz, then we will have our quiz after on. Okay? So we have different parts natin dito, so sundin na lang natin. Okay? So first, we have part 1 or general policies, procedures, and definitions. So ito lang naman yung mga rules of construction. So makikita nyo dito, ito yung mga words na mababasa nyo sa pinaka-picar. And always remember guys pala, itong ituturo ko sa inyong picker is, ano na siya, summarized na siya. So, sinama ko lang dito yung mga importante natin kailangan malaman. Kasi, kung pag nabasa niyo yung picker, sobrang kapal niya. So, sa iba't ibang part, iba't ibang documents, marami siyang pages. So, let's not stress ourselves para aralin yun. Kasi in the field naman, pag kailangan niyo siya, meron naman mga printed materials. Okay? So, ito yung mga words na pwede niyo mabasa dyan. So, mag-focus tayo dito sa prescribe. Always remember, pag sinabing prescribe, meron tayong written policy or methodology. So, parang sa doktor lang yan. So, pag nag-prescribe yung doktor ng gamot, so meron siyang reseta na sinulat. Okay? Papansin nyo ganun yan. Let's erase this. Next, we have organization of regulation. So ito, sabi ko nga sa inyo, meron tayong part, primary subject area, subpart, so any subdivision of a part, section, subdivision of a subpart, subsection refers to the title of regulation, and paragraph refers to the text describing the regulation. So ibig sabihin lang yan, meron tayong iba't ibang part. Kasi kung makikita nyo sa PICAR, meron tayong, for example, part, sorry for my writing, 1.1.2. So yung 1, ito yung part natin, subpart is 0.1, then section natin is 0.2. So ganun lang naman kasimple yan pag nakita nyo yan sa pinaka-document natin. Okay? Then display inspection of licenses and certificate. So ito yung mga documents and licenses na kailangan makikita sa mismong lugar or sa mismong eroplano. Always remember, kailangan po na sa loob ng eroplano, number 1, the pilot license. Next, you have the flight instructor license, other airman license, and lastly, we have the medical certificate. So, yun lang naman yung importante dito. So, I will skip na yung mga hindi naman importante. Okay? So, part 2, we have the personal licensing. So, in this case, pag-uusapan natin dito, kung ano yung mga kailangang experiences or flight hours ng isang pilot or isang flight crew member in order for him or her to gain a pilot license. Okay? So, a person whose license is revoked may not apply for any license, certificate, or rating for 1 year after the date of revocation. So, ibig sabihin nito, for example, na-revoke yung license mo dahil may nagawa kang masama. For example, na-revoke siya ng July 10, 2024. So, re-apply ka lang pag date na tayo ng July 11, 2025. So, remember minsan yung mga tanong sa boards or sa mga mock exam natin ay situational. So, hindi siya rekta na 1 year, ganun, ganun. Okay? So pag sinabi naman po nating reapplication after suspension, so a person whose license is suspended may not apply for any license. Remember hindi lang license. We have license, certificate, or rating during the period of suspension. So ibig sabihin, kunyari suspended ka ng 3 months, kailangan mo munang palipasan yung 3 buwan bago ka mag-apply. Okay? Remember pag re-application, after revocation, after a year, kapag suspension, kung ano yung duration ng suspension mo. So after ng duration ng suspension mo, for example, 5 months or 3 months, tsaka ka na pwedeng mag-re-application. Okay? Then we have medical certificates. So we have class 1, we have class 2, and we have our class 3. So always remember, ito yung mga medical certificate na kailangan pong i-present ng mga certain people na gustong mag-apply ng mga licenses. So ito po yun. So we have CPL or Commercial Pilot License. We have ATPL or Air Transport Pilot License, Flight Engineer, and Flight Navigator License sa ating class 1. So in our class 2 naman, we have the private pilot license or what we call as the PPL. We have the glider, free balloon pilot. Then we have the class 3, we have the air traffic controller license natin. So sa hearing requirement, shall not have a hearing loss in either ear separately of more than 35 decibels at any frequencies 500, 1,000, or 2,000 hertz and more than 50 decibels at 3,000 hertz. So, sir, bakit mo po ba mahalaga ng isang flight crew member ay walang hearing disability? Kasi, always remember, ang communication po ng tower to pilot or ground to air natin is by what? By radio. So, yung radio na yon, dun po sila nag-uusap. So, mapapansin nyo, meron tayong mga tinatawag na flight hours, meron tayong tinatawag yung mga Bravo, Alpha, ganoon po sila mag-usap sa radio. Okay? So, meron tayong mga certain decibels na kailangan ma-hit in order for the radio and the pilot to communicate clearly. So, remember na lang yung mga classes natin, so saan siya kailangan, then yung mga decibels for every frequencies. Okay? So, here, pag-uusapan naman natin ngayon, medyo masaya siya pag-usapan. Kasi we have this limitation, privileges of pilots who have attended their 60th birthday. So always remember, sinabi dito, so if reach 60 years old, or pag 60 years old na yung piloto, he shall not serve as pilot in command. Okay. So always remember, pilot in command, siya po yung what? Kapitan. Okay. And we have a catch here. On a single pilot operation for a Philippine registered aircraft engaged in what? International air transport. Ibig sabihin po niyan, kapag ang piloto ay 60 years old na, hindi na siya pwedeng magpalipad ng isang single pilot operation sa international air transport. Ibig sabihin po nun, hindi na po siya pwede magpalipad ng isang eroplanong siya lang po yung nag-ooperate. Wala pong first officer na kasama and here's the catch for international air transport. Ibig sabihin, lilipad ka from Philippines to another country. Okay? So, pag commercial, sorry, for domestic, pwede pa rin siya. Okay? Remember 60 years old po yan. Okay? Next, curtailment of privileges of pilots who have attained their 65th and 67th birthday. Okay. First, if a pilot or a person reach 65 years old, a person shall not serve as pilot in command or co-pilot for international air transport. Okay, remember, kapag ang isang piloto ay 65 years old na, bawal na siyang maging PIC or the captain and co-pilot kapag pinag-uusapan natin is international air transport. Ibig sabihin ng international air transport, cross-country na flight. Ibig sabihin, Pilipinas to Thailand or Philippines to Japan and so on. And second, if a person reach 67 years old, a person or a pilot shall not serve as pilot in command or co-pilot. So, ibig sabihin po niyan, for domestic air transport. Meaning, kapag ang piloto ay 67 years old na, bawal na po siyang maging captain or first officer slash co-pilot kapag ang flight po natin ay domestic. Ibig sabihin po ng domestic, within the Philippines. Example nun, Manila to Davao, Manila to Cebu, Manila to Iloilo, and so on. So yung catch lang naman dito, lagi lang tatandaan, 65 years old kapag international. 67 years old kapag domestic. Okay, so pag ang tanong, what is the limitation? Ibig sabihin nun, pwede lang po magpalipad ang isang piloto sa international air transport kapag below 65 years old. Ibig sabihin, 64 years old lang yung pinaka-maximum. So kapag domestic naman, below 67, ibig sabihin ang maximum lang po na pwede magpalipad ay 66 years old. So malinaw tayo doon na hindi kasama sa maximum yung pinaka-edad na 65 and 67. Ibig sabihin, pag 65 or 67 ka na, bawal ka na magpalipad in terms of international or domestic air transport. Okay? So, malinaw ha? Hindi yun kasama. Okay? Next. Then you have language proficiency. So, tandaan nyo lang naman kung ano yung meaning. So, we have level 4, operational. Then, level 5, extended. And level 6, we have the expert level. Okay? Then here, dito naman pinapakita, so wala yung mga units kung mapapansin nyo. So yung units po niyan is hours. So ito po yung mga kadalasang kailangan nating oras para magkaroon po tayo ng different licenses. So saan na po yung mga licenses natin? Okay, so isa-isahin natin. So PPL, so we have the private pilot license. The CPL, so commercial pilot license. ATPL, the air transport pilot license. The MPL, the multi-crew license, pilot license, sorry. IR, instrument rating. So yung mga A po natin dyan is airplane, fixed wing. Then yung mga H natin dito is helicopters. So mapapansin nyo dito, andito po yung mga sa atin certain hours na kailangan para bigyan po tayo ng mga licenses dito. Okay? So, yung simulator, solo, pilot in command, cross-country, instrument, and instrument ground, and we have the flight. Kasi meron tayong ground school and we have the flight school na tinatawag. Okay? So, good to know lang. Basahin na lang. Then you have the experience, requirements, and validity. Okay? So, let's remember, itong mga licenses na to, kadalasan or nakalagay talaga sa batas ng PICAR natin na meron siyang validity ng 5 years. So, papapasan nyo dito, lahat siya 5 taon. So, nagbabari lang naman tayo is the minimum age na pwede kumuha na. So, always remember guys, yung pinakabata na pwedeng, na pwedeng kumuha ng license is we have these 3 types of licenses. So, we have the SP authorization or the student pilot authorization. Ibig sabihin ng student pilot authorization, parang meron siyang waiver na pinirmahan ng parents niya or guardian niya na pwede na siyang mag-fly in school. Okay? Next, we have the glider and the free balloon pilot. So, mapapansin niyo dito, 16 years old, pwede na silang kumuha. Kaya kadalasan, kung mapapansin niyo, mga anak ng mga artista, meron na silang mga anak na private pilot license at the age of 17 years old. Okay? So, tandaan niyo yung mga minimum age natin na kailangan. Okay? Next, we have part 3. We have the approved training organization. So, like I said nga nung nakaraan, we have the aviation school, we have the ATO or the approved training organization, and lastly, we have the AMO or the approved maintenance organization. Sinasabi ko nga sa inyo, always remember na lahat ng ATO ay AMO. But not all AMO have ATO. Kasi hindi naman po lahat ng approved maintenance organization ay merong what we call as the training program. So, depende po yan kung meron po silang training program or hindi. Kadalasan po, ang mga ATO natin, sila po yung nagbibigay ng certain trainings sa mga nagla-licensing po sa CAAP, katulad ng mga pilots and mechanics. Okay? So, application for issuance or amendment of an ATO certificate. So, ATO applicant shall apply at least 120 days before the beginning of any proposed training. For example, si Lufthansa, mag-conduct siya ng maintenance training program. Kasi Air France, Philippines, is one of the best example ng isang AMO na ATO rin. Kasi nagko-conduct sila ng maintenance training program or tinatawag natin MTP, sorry. So, dapat before they conduct a certain training, dapat mag-apply na sila sa CAAP at least 120 days or what? 4 months before, di ba? So, kailangan mag-apply na sila 4 months before the certain training. So, ito lang naman yung kailangan or ito yung mga certificate. So, the ATO certificate must contain the following. So, name, location of ATO, date of issue and period of validity. So, authorized location and training courses approved by the CAAP. Okay? So, di mo importante yan. So, ito. Application for issuance or amendment of an ATO certificate. So, may mga naka-highlight tayo dito. So, an ATO located outside Republic of the Philippines, ibig sabihin, hindi siya nakalocate sa Pilipinas, may apply for a Republic Philippines ATO certificate to provide training leading to a license issued by Republic of the Philippines. Ibig sabihin ito, kahit international corporation ka or international organization, pwede kang mag-conduct ng training sa Pilipinas basta yung training mo ay naka-connect sa curriculum na kailangan sa licensing dito sa Pilipinas. So, dapat bind siya or nakasunod siya sa standards ng CAAP natin. Lalo na sa flight school at sa maintenance training program. Okay? So, validity ng ATO certificate is 5 years. So, inspection are conducted annually, may be extended up to 24 months. So, sir, bakit nga po tayo nagkakaroon ng inspection sa mga approved training organization? Kasi number one, kailangan po mapatunayan po nila na nakapasa sila sa certain standards. Kasi ang kadalasan po check sa mga ato natin is number one is the facilities. Kasi ang pangit naman nun, flying school ka pero wala kang piloto. Meron ka lang simulator. So, parang niloloko mo lang yung sarili mo kung gano'n. For example din, isa kang ATO for maintenance tapos wala kang sariling eroplano. Ang kinakalikot lang ng mga students mo is just a theoretical model. So, ang pangit naman nun. So, dapat meron kang sariling eroplano. Okay? Number two is the training program. So, dapat maayos yung pagkakaayos ng parang training program mo. Kung ano yung ino-offer mo sa students, ano yung ino-offer mo sa mga trainees mo. Okay? And lastly, they always inspect the experience of the instructors, yung mga technical instructors nating tinatawag or pwede rin sa flying school na we have the flight instructors and we have the ground instructors natin. So, ini-inspect po yan every year or pwede rin siyang ma-extend up to 24 months or 2 years. Okay? So, for the renewal of the certificate of ATO, so ATO may apply for renewal for its certificate within 30 days preceding the month its ATO certificate expire. Ibig sabihin, 30 days preceding before the month. For example, mag-expire yung ATO certificate mo ng June 30, 2024, kailangan May 30, 2024 is nakapag-apply ka na for renewal para hindi ka magkaroon ng tinatawag nating penalty. Okay? Next. So, each ATO shall notify the authority within 30 days kapag nagbago sa mga different personnel natin. So, accountable manager, the QM, instructional staff, housing training facilities, and so on. So, ATO should have the following personnel: AM, QM, head of training, chief flight instructor. Pag flying school, may flight instructor. Kapag wala, we just have the ground instructor or what we called as the TI natin or the technical instructor natin siyang tinatawag. Okay? So, record keeping. So, retain records for 1 year after training completion. Ibig sabihin yan, dapat inaayos nyo yung mga records ng ato para meron tayong evidences para makita ng authority. Then we have the general curriculum requirements. So, itong mga general curriculum requirements, kadalasan, ito yung sa ato ng mga avionics and aircraft maintenance technicians or AMTs natin. So, in airframe, always remember kasi sa AMT, the AVT, meron silang area of what? Area of specializations. So, we have the airframe, we have the power plant, and we have the avionics. Kasi, kadalasan, common misconception yan na porket AMT ka is alam mo nang gawin lahat. So, kaya nga meron tayong specialization ng airframe and the power plant. And yung avionics naman, syempre, sa avionics technician siya ina-apply. Okay. So, we have airframe. So, we have 1,150 hours. So, we have 400 general. So, ibig sabihin general knowledge yan. So, lapang kalahatan. And 750 airframe. So, pag pinag-usapan natin airframe, kadalasan po pasok dyan yung sheet metals, yung pinaka-structural member ng eroplano. Okay? Then, power plant, 1,150 hours also. So, 400 general and 750 power plant. So, sabi ko nga, pag sinabi natin power plant is what? The engine of the aircraft. And we have the combined airframe and power plant. So, we have 1,900 hours in total. So, 400 general plus 750 airframe and 750 power plants. And lastly, we have the avionics. So, 1,150 hours, 400 hours of general, and 750 hours of avionics subject. Okay? So, remember the number of hours kung anong kailangan sa general curriculum. Kaya, etong part 4, so let's skip na lang muna. So, I will teach this maybe next week. So, pag face-to-face na tayo, so before we take our quiz, or you take your quiz, is maturo ko siya. Kasi ayoko siyang ituro online or in recording. Kasi baka malito, mahirap. Okay, so let's just skip na lang. Skip na lang natin siya for this video. Okay, so may computations kasi yan. So, i-compute natin yun later on. Okay? Next, we have the part 5 or we have the airworthiness. Start. So, we have this STC. So, STC, so given to a person who alters a product by introducing a major change in type design, which is not great enough to require a new application of type certificate. Always remember, binibigay po yung STC natin or the supplemental type certificate kapag may nangyaring changes sa aircraft na. Pero hindi naman masyado, major siya, so hindi siya natin kailangan ng new application ng TC natin, so you can apply for the supplemental type certificate. Okay? So we have the classification of C of A, or what we call the certificate of airworthiness. So we have the standard certificate of airworthiness for aircraft in the specific category and model design. And we have the special certificate of airworthiness. So pag special, so we have the special flight permit natin. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about this transfer of C of A. So number one, transfer to the leasee upon lease of an aircraft within or outside the Republic of the Philippines. So we have this term leasee. Always remember, sabi ko nga, ang aircraft natin can be bought and sell and also be leased. Ibig sabihin ng bilis, pwede po natin siyang i-rent or iparent ng long term. So, we have 5, 10, or 20 years. Sabi dito, ang Certificate of Airworthiness ay kailangan pong i-transfer sa taong magre-rent ng certain aircraft within or outside the Republic of the Philippines. For example, nag-rent si Cebu Pacific ng aircraft, may nag-rent pala, sorry. May nag-rent kay Cebu Pacific ng certain aircraft o Airbus A320 na ganun. So, kailangan yung Certificate of Airworthiness from Cebu Pacific ay kailangan nilang i-transfer dun sa magre-rent sa kanila within or outside the RP natin. Ibig sabihin, kahit man ito ay nag-rent, ay gagamitin sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas, kailangan i-transfer ng Cebu Pacific or a certain airline yung Certificate of Airworthiness sa mag-release or mag-rent sa kanila in the long term. Okay? Next, transfer to the buyer upon sale of the aircraft within the Republic of the Philippines. Ibig sabihin, kailangan kapag nabili yung aircraft mo, tapos gagamitin din sa loob ng Pilipinas, kailangan i-transfer mo din sa kanila yung Certificate of Airworthiness. Okay? And lastly, special case, surrender upon sale of that aircraft outside the Philippines. Ibig sabihin, kapag ibebenta mo yung certain aircraft mo, benta, hindi rent or lease, kapag ibebenta mo yung certain aircraft mo at ang bibili ay foreign country or foreign investor, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo pong isurrender yung Certificate of Airworthiness mo saan? Sa CAAP. So, kailangan mong isurrender yung Certificate of Airworthiness mo sa CAAP kapag ibibenta mo yung certain aircraft mo or isang PH-registered aircraft sa labas ng bansa. So, kadalasan nalilito yung estudyante dito. Always remember, kapag sale, surrender, kapag lease lang outside the Republic of the Philippines, you just need what? To transfer. Okay? Ulitin ko, kapag sale outside, surrender. Kapag lease outside, transfer it to the owner. Okay? So, malinaw tayo. So, magkaiba yung lease and the sale of aircraft in terms of the transfer, the surrendering of Certificate of Airworthiness. Okay? So, okay, malilito dyan. Okay, so natin mo important. Skip natin. Okay. So we have this weighing of aircraft. So all Philippine registered aircraft shall be reweighed at the following periods. Okay. So when used for commercial or aerial work operations every 3 years. So when used in general aviation every 5 years. So sir, bakit nga po kailangan nating magkaroon ng weighing? Kasi meron po kasi tayong tinatawag guys na, sorry for my writing, I don't have a pen. So we have the weight and balance. So importante po kasi na magkaroon tayo ng weight and balance kasi the number one mission of an aircraft is to fly in steady level. So kasi pag hindi tayo steady level, may certain drag tayong pwedeng maramdaman. So dapat tama yung weight and balance natin para hindi rin mag-nose down or mag-nose up yung certain aircraft. Okay? So, sabi dito, ito lang naman yung kailangan tandaan dito. Based on PCAR 5, Part 5, Airworthiness. So, always remember, kapag ang eroplano ay ginamit for commercial or aerial work, kailangan po natin siyang i-reweigh every 3 years. Okay? Yun lang. Yun lang tandaan nyo. And kapag sinabi naman, if the aircraft is used in general aviation, ibig sabihin ng general aviation, paulit-ulit lang, scheduled, chartered, or private flights. So, maliliit na aircraft yan. Okay? So, kailangan po natin siyang i-reweigh every 5 years. Okay, yun lang naman tatandaan nyo dito sa slide na to. Always remember, pag pinag-uusapan po natin ng aircraft ay ginamit sa commercial or aerial work, kailangan po siyang i-reweigh ng every 3 years. Okay? So, pag ang aircraft naman po ay ginamit sa general aviation, kailangan po siyang i-reweigh ng every 5 years. So, 3 and 5 lang naman yun. Tatandaan nyo lang kapag commercial and general, aerial work, every 3 years. Pag Gen Av, every 5 years naman. Okay? So, not so important. Okay. So, the owner of an aircraft, or in the case of the leased aircraft, the leasee or the renter, shall be responsible for maintaining the aircraft in an airworthy condition. Sabihin, yung may-ari ng aircraft at yung nagre-rent ay dapat mag-maintain ng airworthy condition aircraft. Sabihin ng airworthy, nakapasa sa safety standards ng governing body. So in our case, dapat nakapasa siya sa standards ng CACA. Okay? So reporting of failures, malfunction, and defects. So owners or operators of airplane over 5,700, remember and helicopters over 3,175 kilogram MTOW or maximum take-off weight. Okay, so sir, ano yung MTOW natin? Always remember, ang MTOW po natin is we have fuel. Meron tayong full tank or certain amount ng fuel na kasama. Okay, kasi pag sinabi po natin maximum take-off weight, ito po yung pinakamabigat na weight ng eroplano na kaya niyang what? Take off. Okay, so in the long run, magagets nyo rin yan. Lalo na pag pinag-usapan na siya or umabot man kayo ng 4th year. So, pag-uusapan po natin yan sa aircraft design natin. Okay? So, always remember, kailangan pong i-report ng owner or operator, so within this week natin, within 3 working days after determining the failure, malfunction, or defect required. Kaya, so within 3 working days. Always remember, ang working days po sa Pilipinas is only what? Weekdays. Ibig sabihin, Monday to Friday only. Okay, so hindi po counted ang weekend, natin, Saturday and Sunday. Okay? So, person authorized to perform maintenance, ito lang naman yan. So, pilot, licensed AMT and AMO. So, bawal po tayong mag-ayos ng eroplano as an aeronautical engineer. So, we just approve some maintenance task. Hindi po tayo pwedeng pumawak mismo. Okay? So, nasa batas po yan ng PICAR na pwede lang po mag-perform ng certain maintenance sa aircraft is the pilot for elementary maintenance work or kadalasan ang EMW natin is mga basic preventive maintenance lang yan. So, ang kadalasan po talagang pwedeng gumawa is ng AMO and a licensed AMT. And also, sabi dito, person working under the supervision, kadalasan ito yung mga nagtitraining sa ATO natin or approved training organization. Malinaw Okay. So next, authorized personnel to approve to RTS. Tandaan nyo RTS meaning return to service. Ibig sabihin, pwede na pong gamitin yung certain aircraft from AOG. Pag sinabi natin AOG, aircraft on ground. Ibig sabihin ng aircraft on ground, hindi siya pwedeng lumipad. Okay? So we have the pilot, licensed AMT, and the AMO natin. Okay? So, person authorized to perform inspection. So, we have AMT and the AMO. So, ganun lang naman kasimple yun. Okay? So, part 6, approved maintenance organization. So, ito na yung sinasabi kong AMO. Okay? Wait lang. Okay. So, we have the AMO here. So, always remember, our AMO certificate consists of 2 documents. Okay. Tandaan nyo First, one-page certificate. And we have the multi-page operating provisions. Okay? So, yun lang naman kailangan tandaan dyan. So, we have 2 documents. So, not so important. Okay. So, the valid or the duration of the AMO is valid for 5 years po siya. Okay? So, kailangan or 5 years lang po yung validation. So, for application of renewal, so pag magre-renewal na kayo, submit supporting documents no later than 60 days before the approved or the AMO's current certificate expired. So, dapat before 2 months, makapag-application na kayo ng renewal. Okay? So, important. So, part 7, we have instrument and equipment. Okay. So, general requirements. So, tatandaan nyo lang naman dito is always remember, instrument shall include what? A positive positioning control. So, tatandaan nyo lang yung term, positive positioning control. Okay? So, ito yung mga kailangan nating instrument. Hindi ko na isa-isahin yan. Sa avionics nyo matututunan yan. So, ito. So, ito tatandaan nyo, we have the aeronautic emergency frequency. Okay? So, we have this 121.5 megahertz natin. Okay? So, ginagamit yung 121.5 megahertz natin is dito yung frequency kapag may certain emergency na nangyari. So, tandaan nyo kapag may emergency, tatawag ang piloto or i-shift na yung frequency ng radio sa 121.5 megahertz natin. Okay? So, crew member interphone system. So, ibig sabihin ng crew member interphone system, meron siyang phone system or communication system sa loob ng eroplano. Okay. So, it is required for airplane M2 of 1,500 kilograms or higher or more than 19 approved passenger sitting configuration. Okay? So we have this first aid kits to passenger seating capacity. So ito po yung mga kailangan nating number ng first aid kit sa dami ng pasahero. So hindi po yan, for example, gusto lang ng operator na maraming first aid kit kasi kailangan, may certain standards po yan na sinusunod. So always remember, ito yung table na kailangan nating equipment. So kapag 0 to 100 yung pasahero, isa lang. 101 to 200, 201, 300, 3, and so on. Okay? So hindi yan hinuhulaan, guys. Meron tayong certain standards kung gaano karami yung equipment. Okay? So portable fire extinguishers to passenger seating capacity. So ito yan. So 7 to 29, 1. So ito yung dami niyan. So basahin na lang yan. So yun lang naman yun. Okay? Next, part 8, we have the operations. So, ito lang naman kailangan yung tandaan. So, annual inspection, from its word annual, annually. So, every year. So, every 12 months po siya. Okay? So, remuneration of fire or high operation every 100 hour. Paid static every 2 years or 24 months. Okay? So, transponder check. So, every 12 months. ELP check, we have every 12 months natin. So, tandaan niyo yung mga duration niyan kasi importante po yan. Okay? Let's go. So, next. No, that's important naman yan. Di importante. Okay. Ito. So, parang kanina lang, sabi nga, so, lease or sale of aircraft, transfer of maintenance records. So, owner-operator shall transfer records identified above the purchase or the lease. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan pag binenta mo yung aircraft mo or pinalis mo siya, kailangan pati yung maintenance record is kasama mo siyang ibibigay. Okay. So, here's a funny topic about this. Pero importante siya. So, prohibition on use of psychoactive substances, drugs, including narcotics, drugs, and alcohol. So, sabi dito, no person may act or attempt to act as a crew member of a civil aircraft with these following conditions. Number 1, within 8 hours after the consumption of any alcoholic beverage. Ibig sabihin niyan, bawal ka pong magpalipad ng certain aircraft or maging crew member, flight attendant, kapag ikaw po ay nakainom within 8 hours. Okay, kung nag-inom ka ng 10 p.m., kailangan pumasok ka sa trabaho mo ng mga 7 a.m. na. So, kailangan mo muna palipasin yung amats mo sa alak. So, yun lang naman yun. Okay? And also, while under the influence of alcohol. So, dapat pumasok ka sa trabaho mo na hindi ka lasing. So, sa lahat naman ng company, kailangan gano'n eh. Dapat nasa good condition ka. Okay? And lastly, while using any drug that affects the person's faculties in any way contrary to safety. So, dapat hindi ka nakagamit any drugs. Okay? So, tandaan niyo yan, mga certain rules na kailangan. So, within 8 hours and so on. So, pag-uusapan naman natin dito is the duty and rest periods natin. So, kailangan pala yun. So, kailangan natin siyang pagtuunan ng pansin kasi para hindi ma-overwork yung mga employee natin. So, kasi pag nagkakaroon po kasi tayo ng overwork, doon na papasok yung human factor error. Sabihin nun, nagkakaroon tayo ng errors kasi dahil sa tao. Dahil pagod, stress, kulang sa tulog, may iniisip na ibang bagay, and so. Okay? So, no operator may schedule a flight crew member for more than 14 hours of duty. Okay. So, cabin crew for more than 14 consecutive hours. So, always remember, pag flight crew, piloto yan. Pag cabin crew, mga flight attendant. So, all flight dispatchers for more than 10 consecutive hours. Ibig sabihin, bawal pong mag more than 14 hours ang mga piloto. Sabihin ng 14 hours within 24 hours, kahit putol-putol yan, pag pinagsama mo, tapos sumobra ng 14 hours, hindi po yun pwede. And ang cabin crew naman, bawal po sila magkaroon ng shift na 14 consecutive. Ibig sabihin ng 14 consecutive, 14 hours, what? Straight. Okay? So, pag flight dispatcher, flight operations, more than 10 consecutive hours. So, rest periods, minimum rest period of flight crew member, 8 consecutive hours. So, sunod-sunod na 8 hours. So, pag cabin crew naman, 9 consecutive hours. So, sir, bakit mas mahaba sa cabin crew? Kasi sila po yung kadalasang nakatayo. Sila po yung nagbubuhat and nag-a-assist ng mga passengers. Okay? So, relieve the flight crew member, cabin crew, or flight operations officer from all duties for 24 consecutive hours during any 7 consecutive day period. Ibig sabihin nun, kung pumasok po ang certain employee ng 7 days straight, Monday to Sunday, kailangan after nun, meron po siyang day off or minimum day off na isang buong araw. Or, in this case, 24 consecutive hours. Okay? Sige. So, no operator may assign flight crew member to a duty period exceeding 14 hours in any 24 consecutive hours. So, kadalasan niya lang naman yan. So, we have the maximum flight time in scheduled or unscheduled commercial flying. So, 1,000 hours in every year, 100 hours in every month, 30 hours in 7 consecutive days, and 8 hours in between required rest periods. Okay. The maximum flight, so 1,000 hours in every year, 100 hours in every month. Then we have Part 9, so air operator, certification, and administration. So, ito lang naman yung importante dyan. In order for you to have an air operator certificate, you must be a citizen of the Republic of the Philippines. Like I said nga, ang citizenship po, pagiging isang Pilipino ay hindi lang susukat by blood, kundi pwede rin po tayo magkaroon ng special case ng naturalization. or kumuha po tayo ng citizenship sa Pilipinas, yung mga foreigners. Okay. Next, has a principal place of business and registered office and inside our country. Okay. And ito yon. Tandaan nyo has at least 3 aircraft, one of which must be owned by the applicant. Okay, so ganito yan. Pwede siyang magkaroon ng air operator certificate kapag meron siyang 3 eroplano. Pero sabi dito, kailangan niya lang meron siyang isang owned. Sabi ng owned, siya mismo yung bumili. So in this case, pwede po mangyari na yung dalawa is leased plus one owned. So equals 3 aircraft. So, pasok po siya sa certain standards ng CAAP para maging isang air operator certificate. Hindi naman po kasi ibig sabihin na kailangan mo 3 eroplano is sa'yo yung ownership. So, pwede kang 2 leased or rented aircraft and 1 owned aircraft. Okay? Yun lang naman yung importante dito. So, important. So for commercial air transport passenger car carrying operations, so the actual evacuation demonstration is 90 seconds or less. Kailangan po 90 seconds lang po yung demonstration or less. Okay? So, siguro nagtataka kayo kung saan binibase yung dami ng cabin crew or flight attendants in every aircraft. So makikita natin dito, yung seating capacity, so more than 19 but less than 51, so we need 1 cabin crew. So more than 51, more than 50, but less than 101, so we have 2 cabin crews yung kailangan. So more than 100 passengers, 2 cabin crews, and plus 1 for every 50 passengers. So for example, 150 yung passengers mo, ang kailangan mo ng cabin crew is 2 plus 1. Kasi sabi dito, plus 1 for every 50 passengers. So remember lang, 19 to 50, 1, 51 to 100, to 100 pataas, more than 100, you need 2 pa rin, and plus 50 for every 50 passengers then. Okay? So, for 10, commercial air transport by foreign air carriers within Republic of the Philippines. So, ito not so important naman. Ito. So, fly-through qualifications. So, for single pilot operation, so the pilot in command shall be less than 60 years old. Ibig sabihin nito, ito yung mga aircraft or mga airline company, foreign airline company na nag-ooperate sa Philippines. So, the pilot in command shall be less than 60 years old for single pilot. Okay, so yung single pilot, isa lang yung piloto. Okay? For more than one pilot, if one pilot is between 60 to 65 years old, other pilot should be less than 60 years old. So, magandang example na kunyari, yung captain, 63 years old, kailangan yung first officer around 50 to 59 lang siya. Okay? So, for language proficiency, so at least operational level 4 for English language and shall endorse to license. Okay? So, part 11, aerial work and operating limitations for non-type certificated aircraft. So, in this part, pag-uusapan natin yung mga aircraft na ginagamit sa aerial work. Okay? So, always remember lang guys, ang kinukuha nating certificate for aerial work is what? The certificate of authorization. Okay? Tandaan nyo ha, pag aerial work ang pinag-uusapan, papasok dyan is the certificate of authorization. Okay? Yan naman importante dyan. Skip natin. Okay. So, valid for 5 years. So, an operator shall make application for renewal of certificate of authorization at least 30 days before the end of existing periods. So, part 13, accident incident reporting and investigation. So, yan lang naman yan. So, itatandaan nyo lang dito, kailangan i-notify nyo agad yung CAAP kapag may nangyaring accident or incident. So, the operator of civil, state, or foreign aircraft shall file a report in the form and manner prescribed by authority. Okay, tandaan nyo ha, within 10 days after an accident or incident. Okay? Then, after 7 days, if an overdue aircraft is still missing. So, remember na lang yung mga dates natin dito. Kung ilang days siya. Okay? So, lastly, we have the transportation of dangerous goods by air. So, I don't need to explain more about the part 18 kasi na-discuss ko na rin naman siya doon sa ating ICAO. Okay? So, sinend ko naman na yung presentation. So, like I said nga kanina, summarize na to ng PICAR. So, if you want to read the full PICAR, you may so. Pero sobrang kapal niya. May hilo lang kayo kapag inisa-isa niyo. Ayan, so we will discuss the part 4, the markings and registration by next meeting. So, siguro 1 hour for that discussion. Then, I will give break, siguro 30 minutes for you to study certain lesson. And after that, we will go to our midterm quiz. So, the coverage of a midterm quiz is only coverage niya ay ICAO lang and the PICAR. So, hindi ko na sinama yung RA 9497 and the RA 776. So, makikita nyo na lang yung dalawang yon in our midterm examination. Okay? So, if you have any question about this recording, feel free to message me in class in. So, para masagot natin yung mga tanong. So, I hope you watch this video please kasi mahalaga siya. Kasi may mga certain points akong sinabi na hindi nyo maiintindihan kapag binasa nyo lang yung PowerPoint. So, I will just give this recording or upload it sa YouTube para mas makita nyo. Okay, so if you have any questions, just message me in class in and I am willing to answer your questions. So, I hope you listen or sorry, I hope you will watch this video para mas magkaroon kayo ng idea on how PICAR works in our industry. Okay? Thank you and take care. Keep safe always.